everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be installing ditch lights on a 6th gen 4Runner. We're going to walk you through how to do the install, talk a little bit about the ditch lights themselves, and how they tie into the overall 360 lighting on your 6th gen 4Runner. I'm Jacob, let's go and get started. All right, so diving right in, let's go ahead and talk real quickly about the things and the tools you're gonna actually need to get this install done. This ditch bracket install and ditch light install is actually a fairly easy process. So to get started, you're gonna need a couple things. First, and most importantly, you're gonna need some lights. For this instance, we're gonna be using a FlexAir 4, and we'll talk a little bit more about why we chose or why we decided to do a FlexAir 4 on this vehicle at this time, but you're gonna need ditch lights, right? So we have the FlexAir 4s for this video. Then you're gonna need a ratchet. You can use an electric ratchet, a standard ratchet. You can even use a wrench if you really wanted, but ratchet's a little bit faster. So you're gonna need a 12mm socket or wrench. You're also gonna need another wrench for your light. So depending on what light you're going with, that's gonna differ. For the FE4, the FE3, the FE1, a 17mm is gonna be your best friend. We have a ratcheting one, but you can use a standard combination wrench. And then you're gonna need, obviously, your ditch brackets. This is super helpful. This is a electrical snake. This is gonna be really nice for the wiring side of things, which we will talk about a little bit later in this video. But these are all the things you need to install the ditch brackets on your 6th gen 4Runner. All right, so moving into the first step, what we're actually gonna be doing is getting ready to install the bracket. So as you can see here, this hood is actually mounted with 2 bolts on each side. What we're gonna be doing is we're actually gonna be using those 2 holes to mount the ditch bracket. There's a few tips when it comes to mounting things to a hood and undoing these. The first thing is we wanna make sure we do not take out all 4 bolts at the same time. That's gonna throw alignment off on the hood, and it's also kind of heavy and hard to work with. So we're gonna always make sure we're only dealing with one of these bolts out at a time. It's not even a great idea to remove 2 of them, because then it can throw one side off alignment. I'll show you exactly how I do that and the tips that I do with this. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna take your 12mm socket or wrench, and we're gonna go ahead and start loosening this first top one. All right, so with that first one out, what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna take our ditch bracket, we're gonna put the first bolt in the first hole so we can actually swivel it and we can get the bolt started so we don't have to worry about it shifting just too much. So we're gonna take our ditch bracket. These are side specific. So how you can tell is you see how the holes kind of go towards the outside. You wanna make sure that's how it is. It's not really gonna fit if you try it the other way. The way these actually go in is they snake under the hood and through it like this. So it's gonna sit just kind of like this. What we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna cover this first hole here, and we're gonna start this with our hands, and all we need it to be is just a little tight, enough for us to swivel it, but enough for the hood not to slide too much around. So with it tight like this, now we're gonna go ahead and remove the second bolt and slide it into position, and then get that bolt in, and then that bracket's mounted. We'll do the same thing on the other side. What we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna close this hood and just make sure that fitment's good. It shifted just a hair, so I wanna make sure that fitment is still good. We're not gonna clip anything, or the body lines are gonna look kind of awkward. So I'm gonna close this slowly and just kind of keep an eye on the body lines. All right, so everything looks fine to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back open, and we're gonna work on the other side. All right, so this is another quick tip. It is a good idea to throw some painter's tape right below the mounting position. It's not a huge, we try to keep it as flush as possible, which does mean that, you know, wrenches and other things do get close. So something like a 6th gen 4Runner that's a brand new vehicle, it's not a terrible idea to throw some painter's tape down and just protect that hood. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is the FlexAir 4. So why on earth are we using a FlexAir 4 instead of something like a FlexAir 3 or a FlexAir 1 that's a little bit lower profile? Well, if you take a look at this vehicle, you can tell the only lights on it right now are the stock headlights and the stock fog lights. There's no other light on this vehicle. So one good thing about the FlexAir 4 is that it is incredibly bright and it has a ton of throw. So we normally recommend ditch bracket or ditch lights be mounted at this 30-degree kick. However, since this is a Flex Air 4 and there's no other additional lighting on this vehicle, he's actually gonna point these a little bit more forward with a slight angle to them instead of that 30-degree like we normally recommend. And that is because this is the only off-road auxiliary lighting he's gonna have on the vehicle for now. Eventually, we are putting a Platform 1 roof rack on top of this, which will give that long distance light. So these lights will be kicked more at that 30-degree to give that, peripheral vision. But for now, he's gonna point these straight in a little bit off to the side. However, that will change once he adds more light to it. That's the beauty of 360 lighting, is things adapt and things change, but that is the reason we're going for the Flex Air 4 currently. All right, so as I'm tightening this, I did want to mention something really, really neat that the engineers on our product development team actually did for these. So these ditch brackets and most of our ditch brackets actually have if you look at it, a nice little cut right there, and it looks, like it's a cool geometric design. What it actually is a 30-degree marker. So the hardest part about ditch bracket or ditch lights is making sure on both sides the lights are pointed at the same degree. What is cool is since they have this 30-degree straight edge, when you're mounting the lights at 30 degrees, which unfortunately we are not at the moment, you can actually align them very easily by aligning to that 30-degree straight edge. There's also enough, play in here to slide this side to side, so you can actually get it right on that 30-degree mark, which is an incredible design idea by our product development team. So just wanted to kind of let you guys know that's a really neat feature on the ditch bracket for the 6th Gen 4Runner. All right, so now that the lights are installed, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the wiring next. We're working with the Flex Air 4, so this harness is gonna be the same for all the Flex Air family, along with the Slimlight, the Slimlight family, and the Titan family. So they're all gonna be relatively the same harness, and every other harness is gonna have the same anatomy. So that's what we're gonna talk about next, is the anatomy. There's 3 main parts to the wiring harness you need to focus on. The first one is gonna be your supply or your battery source. The next one is gonna be the lights themselves. Then the other one is gonna be your switch system, which is gonna be how you actually power the light or function with the light and turn it on and off and all that good stuff. So let's talk about the supply first. You're gonna have 2 wires. One is your positive or your hot, the other one is your negative or your ground. In this instance, we have a yellow wire with an inline fuse. That's gonna go to the positive terminal or wherever you're getting your power source from. The black is gonna go to a ground, whether it's your negative or a ground post in your vehicle. As you follow this harness down, you're gonna notice they kind of all connect into this center little weird plug looking thing. This is just a relay connector, so all you have to do is plug the supplied relay directly into it. You can only put it in the correct way. You actually can't put this thing in wrong. So connect that and move on to the next part. All right, so we have 2 different, this is where it Ys into 2 different connections. The first one is gonna be this weather pack, which for this instance is just an extension for the Flex Air family, which uses these 3-pin Deutsch connections. This is how you get the 2 different functions, the high power and the amber backlight. The other is going to be going to the switch system, which is, in this case, a little tiny switch. There's 3 wires here. One of them is the load, which is the power. The other 2 are the functions for the auxiliary mode, which is the amber backlight, and the high power mode. That's gonna differ from light to light, but that's these cables right here. The neat thing about all of our lights is they come with a wiring diagram, so you can actually understand what actually happens here. So moving on, what we're gonna be doing on this vehicle actually has a switch system, so we can shortcut a lot of this, and we don't have to do everything that you'd normally have to do if you didn't have a switch system. So for this instance, since these lights are powered or the power doesn't draw too much, the switch system can actually run directly off the switch system and does not need the relay or any of the supply harnesses. So what we do is right here, before it actually goes to all the other rest of this, is we can actually go ahead and cut this right here and plug this directly into the switch system. So that's what we're gonna be doing on this install. However, I'm gonna show you if you did have to wire this the normal way. I'm gonna walk you through how I would do it on the 6th Gen 4Runner. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move over to the vehicle and start the wiring process. So what's nice is a lot of these vehicles have something running along the top here that we can actually zip tie to. So that's what we're gonna be doing for the ditch lights. The unfortunate part about ditch lights is they're so far apart, so you have to kind of keep that in mind whenever you're doing the wiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in, if you see This Y connection has a short side and a long side, if you can see that. The short side is going to go side closest to the battery, or in this case, the switch system we're going to be connecting to. So I'm going to go to plug in this 3-pin Deutsch. It's nothing fancy, you just plug it in until it clicks. And then you're going to grab this, and since my helper is holding the camera, I'm going to toss this thing across the engine bay. Aha, that was a good throw. Okay. All right, so I'm back on this side. I'm going to go ahead and get this over here and get this plugged in. I like to plug in the lights before I actually do most of the routing, just so I can kind of figure out how long things need to be. I want as much slack as possible on the battery side, so I'm going to try to get things really nice and tight on this side, and then get it a little bit looser with some more slack on that side. So I'm going to play around with this real quick and figure out the best method, and then I'll get back to you guys. All right, so I think we figured out the best way we're going to route this is we're actually going to connect to this vacuum hose up top here and just zip tie to it. Nothing crazy. This is going to be a nice way to keep it out of the heat, out of the engine bay, or out of the, on top of the engine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All we're going to do is get this nice and snug right here and just start zip tying. So nothing fancy. All right, so we have the bulk of the harness done. We have the wire, or the harness side for the lights ran. I like where it is, so it's gonna kind of live here. Here's where it's kind of poking out of. So here's what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and plug this in to the main harness now with this weather pack. Oh, there it goes. And now you have this huge rest of the harness. So again, going back to the anatomy of the thing, we have these two that are gonna go to the load or the supply, right? The yellow, again, is gonna be your positive, which is gonna go to the positive. The negative is gonna go to your ground. So if we were setting this up normally, that's what we'd go ahead and do. Here's your positive, here's the ground, or here's the negative, but it's better to use a body ground. So there's one actually down here that we can use if we wanted. And then you'd want to go ahead and plug the relay in, find a nice place to plug the find a nice place to secure the relay. So what I like to do personally is, this is all sheet metal and it's really easy to get a self-tapping screw. We actually have a screw that comes with this kit. If you have a nice like right angle drill or right angle drill attachment, you can get it right here nice and cleanly. The other thing to note too is relays, always make sure you're facing it down. You don't want to ever have them facing up because water will actually pool inside the relay and cause some corrosion issues. So you want it always facing down, so if water gets in it, it falls right out. Then the other thing to note is going to be the switch. You're going to want to find a way to run this into the vehicle. On the 6th Gen 4Runner, we actually found there is a grommet right down here behind the battery you can poke through that is right behind the glove box. You can actually access it only taking one little piece of plastic off that doesn't have any clips or anything fancy. It just pulls right out. That is going to be the best way to actually route your switch. This cable is really, really long, so you're going to be able to get it routed to the driver's side or wherever you want to actually have the switch. The cool thing is though, is there's already a switch panel installed on this thing. So all we have to do is figure out the length we want to run this, and we're going to go ahead and give this a nice cut right here and plug this directly into the switch panel, so we're not going to have to do any kind of running into the engine or running into the cab or going to the firewall or anything like that with this install. So we're going to go ahead and get this done on this side of things, and then we'll kind of show you what it looks like.
All right, so everything is wired up, everything is mounted, everything is zip tied. We are finally at the finish line. The last little piece here, now that the sun is down, is to take it outside and actually get everything properly aimed. We kind of talked a little bit about the degrees and how far we wanted to kick it left and right. The last little piece is up and down. So the best idea for you is to go out somewhere dark, preferably like a dirt road or something, somewhere where you're actually going to use this, and play around with the aiming. Even if you want to kick it out more left and right or less left and right, play around with it. This is a white hood, so straight on you're going to get some more glare. A little bit more so that's angled, kind of like how it is right now, is probably going to be preferable with the Flex Air 4s, but you go try it out, play around with it, bring a wrench, bring an Allen, adjust them a little bit so you can kind of see how it's going to work best for your use case. All right, but that's it. That's everything you need to know on how to wire and set up and install the ditch brackets on your 6th Gen Toyota 4Runner. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.